What's a tip that everyone should know which might one day save their life? If you are being choked, make a touchdown signal. Raise your arms straight up, then twist around, using your arms to break the choke. If they are very strong, use the prayer method. Put your hands together in front of your chest, like you are praying. Shoot your arms between the choker's arms and then spin. If the tide begins to recede, and you can see a lot more of the ocean, run away immediately. By a lot more of the ocean, he means on the horizon. If the ocean literally starts to rise, get the hell out of there. Although generally by that point you end up with maybe 60 seconds. But 60 seconds is better than 0 seconds. If you need to break open a car window using a tool, do not hit the middle. Hit one of the corners. The middle of the window is reinforced to prevent it from being broken. Shortness of breath can indicate heart problems. My father told our family doctor about it, and they sent him for tests. They found problems and did open heart surgery. It saved his life, and I want more people to know about this seemingly unrelated symptom. If you have been on the fence for a while about being too cold to continue in a backcountry situation, you are already too cold. Immediately make emergency efforts to get warm. Being hypothermic severely clouds your judgment. You convinced me. I'm turning the thermostat up to 74. If you're in a crowd and there's a possibility of a human crush, go with the waves of people instead of against it, and when possible, go backwards to the left to get out of it. If you're rigid, you'll get pushed over and trampled to death, and you absolutely don't want to get to the front. Edit. Back and diagonally. Not sure where I got left from. While left, humans tend to go to the right if given the choice. Most stores are designed with the assumption that people will turn to their right upon entering. Maybe it's similar to that. Never pee on a jellyfish sting. Douse it with vinegar instead. One of the times I got stung, the lifeguard rubbed Old Bay seasoning on it. I guess so it could exfoliate the stingers out. I think it actually worked. If you're hiking / doing anything else outdoors alone, tell someone where you're going and when you should be back. If you become incapacitated, this will increase survival chances by a lot. If you live alone, have a check-in person that you text goodnight and will notice if you don't. A cowwalker living alone choked to death in her home. You just never know. Edit. Yes, I know this wouldn't have saved my cowwalker from choking. I put it more to show that it isn't just elderly who have unexpected risks when living alone. A better example would be falling in the shower and getting nosed out. My sincerest apologies to people with shower anxiety now. As a lifelong Floridian, I see this all the time here and elsewhere in the news. In the event of a disaster, stay the F away from downed power lines. Don't walk along the street with them. Don't drive your car over them. Don't take selfies with them. They're thunder noodles and have been known to kill. If you've been stabbed, leave the sharp object in the wound until it can be treated by a professional. Sometimes the knife / stick / whatever is the only thing sealing the wound, so you don't bleed out. On a similar note, if you for some reason get stabbed in the eye with a stick, cover both eyes. Moving your injured eye can cause more damage, and it's impossible to move your eyes independently, and if they aren't covered, you'll instinctively look around with the uninjured one. Source: Boy Scout First Aid Training. I've never thought about the fact that you can't move your eyes independently. Now it's driving me insane that I can't. It would probably drive you more insane if you could. Put toilet paper in your cars. I once saw a man taking a roadside emergency dump while holding onto a tire to keep from falling back into the demon he was releasing. I immediately checked for toilet paper, and it has not left my vehicle since. If you have a skin mole that has blurry edges, isn't symmetrical, is a weird shade of red, weeps fluids, or acts like an open wound that won't heal, you might have skin cancer. Go to a doctor immediately. Melanoma kills fast. If you have benign skin moles, keep an eye on them. Get an idea of how they should normally look, so you'll notice if any begin to change, like I mentioned above. Don't forget to put on sunscreen. The ABCDE method of identifying possibly cancerous moles: asymmetrical borders, irregular color, uneven, more than one diameter, 6mm evolution, if it's changed over time. If you find yourself close to an electrical hazard, like a downed power line, keep your feet together and carefully hop away from the danger. The electric differential between your legs can fry you if the charge is high enough. Ever wonder why sometimes there are whole herds of animals that die from a single lightning strike? This is why. Can you please explain this more? If one foot is closer to the source of the charge than the other, then the electricity will arc up one leg, through your body, and down the other. If your feet are together, this won't happen. If you should be foolish enough to crash your car into water, find a sharp object. Attempting to open the door is fruitless until the pressure equalizes. Break the window glass and swim out that way. The metal part of a removed headrest can be used to break windows in this situation. So can your belt buckle. Loop it around your boot and stomp away. Do not jump in the water to save a drowning person, unless absolutely necessary, i.e. a child, etc. Drowning people tend to clasp on their rescuers and drag them under with them. Find something to throw, or some sort of lifeline. If a drowning person does grab on, they will essentially try to climb you like a ladder or push you under to get the leverage to get some air. It's instinctive at that point and impossible to override. If you're being pushed under, just swim down out of their grasp, come up a little ways away, and try to reapproach. Prop someone on their side when they are drunk and passed out. If they are laying on their back and start vomiting, they could asphyxiate themselves. Their left side. It's called the recovery position. Or fill a backpack with blankets / clothes / etc and slip the person's arms in. They can't roll over with a stuffed backpack. Yes, it's easier to aspirate vomit into the right lung because the right bronchiole that branches off from the trachea is larger than the left bronchiole. Always go for the left side if possible. If you're in the passenger seat of a car, never put your feet on the dashboard. In the event that you're in a car accident, knee bones into your skull won't end well. Edit to add, yes please don't do this in the driver's seat either lol. And if it doesn't damage your face, it will damage your hips. This is how I messed up my hips when I was 17. It's not been a fun ride guys. Keep your feet and legs down at all times. Me too, but my legs were crossed and up against the back seat. I'm 19 and basically 90 in hip health. Get a co-gas detector in your house. One near the furnace and one near your bedroom. Cannot smell or see coal leaks from regular household furnaces. They are pretty inexpensive too. Reddit probably won't save your life like that one poster who thought their landlord was leaving them sticky notes. If you are ever being attacked or kidnapped by someone with a nose ring, earring, or any sort of visible piercing, tear it out. It hurts. Especially the nose ring. Had a coworker arguing with me about this the other day. Well, if someone ripped out my piercings then I'd get pissed and the fight would be on. Motherfucker. If I'm ripping out piercings, this is a serious situation. Don't mix household cleaners. Especially don't mix bleach with ammonia. That'll produce a toxic gas that can kill you. Edit. Here's a link to some discussion on the topic. Might not be the best, but it's the first one I found. If I'm reading correctly, this mix produces chlorine-chloramine gas, not mustard gas. Apparently this still happens frequently. The thing to do, if it happens to you, is to GTFO out the place where the mixing happened. Get to fresh air. Don't pee on a cloth and breathe through that. GTFO. It's very inadvisable to carry condoms in your back wallet. The irregular cycles of heat it will experience due to being in and out of your pocket can cause the latex to expand / contract multiple times before actual use, severely compromising the reliability. If you feel you're going to collapse, clench your buttocks together. You also can't cry while squeezing your butt cheeks together. Useful when you need to keep your S together. And a fun fact, to lighten the situation when someone else is about to lose it. What, I never knew this. I'll be writing this down for the rest of my life. If you ever feel intense pressure in your chest that radiates up into your jaw, you are probably having a heart attack. Source: had heart attack last month. I get this feeling every time I eat 188 sushis at the all-you-can-eat sushi buffet. If you ever get kidnapped and are in the kidnapper's vehicle, wait until you are around a lot of traffic and pull the steering wheel to make the car crash. People will immediately go to see if you are okay and call emergency vehicles. You're going to be injured or killed, whether you cause an accident or go to the second location anyways. Might as well put attention to yourself. Okay. So when you get kidnapped, the place where the guy grabs ya, in the biz we call that the primary location. Okay. Your odds of coming back alive from the primary location, about 60%. But if you are taken to a secondary location, your odds of coming back alive are slim to none. Pain on your right side? Push down slightly on it and cough. If pain intensifies, it's most likely your appendix, and you should get it checked out. Wife had 2 surgeries on it this year. Another option is a heel drop test. Stand on your tippy toes and then let your heels drop to the floor quickly. If you fall to the ground in pain, you need to have your appendix removed. I watched a buddy of mine use this method to identify appendicitis in someone else. Then went on a couple years later to help someone else learn the same thing. If you have appendicitis, you're already miserable, and it is worth the potential pain of finding out. I was in hospital as a kid for a really bad stomachache that was suspected appendicitis. After a few hours lying in bed, having blood drawn etc., the doctor came into my room and raised his hand up in the air for a high five. I jumped up to high five him, landed on my feet without any trouble, and he immediately said I was discharged because kids with appendicitis can't jump. Interesting stuff.